Peaks trivia session, plus my Laura Palmer cosplay. Twin Peaks is one of my favorite shows of all time. I know I always say that, but this one is extremely close to my heart. I was obsessed with it in high school, so obsessed that like my first tattoo idea was to do the hands like this. And I never got that. So tell me in the comments if you think I should get that tattoo. Twin Peaks is a cult classic and so many people love it for so many different reasons. There are endless layers to it. It is deep, it's horror, it's comedy, it's everything. I'm rewatching it again with my fiance. I'm forcing him to watch it with me, and he's not gonna be able to watch this video until we finish it because there are spoilers alert. I just want to have a disclaimer that I do not know 100% that these facts are true. I got them off of BuzzFeed and I am going to be reading them to you and telling you 10 things that you did not know about Twin Peaks. I kind of want this to be more of like a conversation because I want to learn, I'm sure other people want to learn, and I know there's a lot of misinformation out there right now about different shows and movies, and I don't want to spread misinformation. I just want to show you guys these facts and connect with people that love the same art that I love. So if there is for any reason one of these facts that is not correct and you have a whole backstory or you have any information, put it down in the comments. I would love to learn. I'm open to learning. I am not claiming that I am an expert on any of this. So I'm going to start off by reading you guys some facts from BuzzFeed. Fact 1. Despite popular fan rumors, the famous photo of Laura Palmer is not actress Cheryl Lee's real-life prom photo. Now, I actually did not know this. I thought that it actually was her prom photo, as I think many fan theories have said. I will show the photo right here, and let me know what you guys think. Is this true? Is this false? Is it her real-life prom photo? BuzzFeed says no, but what do you think? What's the truth? Second fact, and this one's super interesting. For season 2, they filmed 2 different reveals of Laura Palmer's killer. They wanted to keep the killer's true identity a complete secret, even from the cast and crew. And production distributed false scripts on set to the cast and crew with phony scripts that had warnings on them. Things like, this is the conclusion of the show, here's the killer, don't share this with your friend, destroy after reading. So that's super interesting. Fact number 3. The series' eerie final line, "How's Annie?" wasn't even in the original script. Although whether it was improvised or just rewritten by Lynch on the day is unconfirmed. And then this question of why he said this is actually answered in a deleted scene from the prequel film Fire Walk with Me. In the recently released Blu-ray special features, we get to see Annie out of the Black Lodge and in the hospital. Number 4. Bob and essentially the entire mythology of the show was a complete accident. So Frank Silva, who ended up playing Bob, was actually the set designer. At the end of the very first episode, when Sarah Palmer gets spooked by something, Silva can be seen in the mirror behind her, which was a total accident. However, Lynch really liked that creepy image and decided Silva should become a part of the cast. Pretty crazy, right? I'm about to say some spoilers, so if you have not seen the show yet, I would stop watching or I would click forward. So I did some research about Bob, and I've always been super interested in this character, how twisted and horrific and abusive he is. He is a demon. Leland met Bob as a child, and Bob was supposed to be his neighbor, so they met that way, and he's been possessing him on and off since he was a child. Now, I think this is so interesting because I love horror. As you can see, all of my horror paintings and posters and autographs. I'm a huge horror fan. My channel is about horror conventions, cosplays, and filming locations, usually from horror movies, but I love all different types of movies and shows, so I love the aspect of this show that is horror. I think it's incredibly done. It is Twin Peaks. You can't compete with it, you can't describe it. It's one of a kind, it's original. Let's go on to fact number 5. Laura Palmer's character was based on a real person and murder case. It was the 1908 murder of 20-year-old Hazel Drew in Sand Lake, New York. Fact number 6. The chevron pattern on the Black Lodge floor is also in David Lynch's first feature film, Eraserhead. Twin Peaks nails, I got them done specifically for this video, so I'm very, very excited to show them off to you guys. This is the pattern they're talking about. It's called Chevron, and he used this in his first feature film, Eraserhead. Let me know if any of you guys are also nail girls in the comments, because I always get my nails done. I love doing themed nails. I would be really curious to see how many people also love doing themed nails. Fact number 7, Cheryl Fenn's character Audrey Horne inspired Lynch's iconic film, Mulholland Drive. Audrey was supposed to have a spin-off series about her going to Hollywood, but it ended up not happening. How iconic is that? So I love Audrey. She's one of my favorite characters in the whole show. She is also very complex. She has so much going on inside her head, and what's going on at home with her family is almost just as torturous as what was happening to Laura, except, you know, minus the physical abuse. Audrey's iconic shoes were actually painted Oxfords. Lynch had wanted real saddle shoes, but no one could find them in the area. If you notice, the colors of Audrey's shoes are reversed to the real saddle shoes. I will add in a picture right here of that so you guys can see. Number 8. David Lynch thought Cheryl Lee had been so great as Laura Palmer that he wrote the part of her cousin Maddie Ferguson just to keep Cheryl in the show, which I don't blame him. How iconic. Cheryl Lee is such an incredible actress. In my eyes, she was the heart of the show. I know Kyle MacLachlan was the star of the show, and he was also the heart of the show, but I think having such a beautiful, tortured, just demonic protagonist when you have the scenes in the Black Lodge, when she's screaming into the camera, just all of that intensity that she brings to the show really shows you how valuable her character is, and honestly how relatable. She's just a girl who was put through these traumatic situations. Cheryl Lee was also just a local theater actress in Washington when she landed her iconic part on the show. Fact number 9. The conspiracy surrounding Marilyn Monroe's death influenced the show. So co-creators David Lynch and Mark Frost were originally working on an adaptation of Goddess, a biography of Monroe. But since they couldn't get the rights, they started working on Twin Peaks. Both Laura and Monroe were blondes whose death had mysteriously surrounded them. Laura dies after writing in her diary that she's going to reveal the affair she's having with Ben Horne, which people think parallels Monroe's alleged affair with President John F. Kennedy. So interesting. Fact number 10. Ray Wise, who played Leland Palmer, when he is in the scene where he's holding the frame of Laura and dancing around the room, he actually cut his hand in that scene. He described it as his Apocalypse Now moment, referring to Martin Sheen actually cutting his hand on a broken mirror in that movie. And since you guys are watching my video and I appreciate it so much, I'm gonna give you one bonus fact. And this is that Steven Spielberg, who's one of my favorite directors of all time, was going to direct the season 2 premiere until David Lynch decided to do it himself. When Mark Frost told David about the idea, Lynch said, no, I think I'll direct the first one. Maybe he can direct later in the season. And aren't we glad that David Lynch directed Twin Peaks? Because without him, what would Twin Peaks be? So I hope you guys enjoyed my tribute to David Lynch and Twin Peaks, as it is one of the best shows of all time. And I hope that David Lynch is looking down and seeing how much we appreciate his work and how important it was for us. So the second part of this video, I am going to be doing a cosplay as Laura Palmer, and I also am going to have little snippets of my photographer Seanie Blue talking about cosplay, David Lynch, and Twin Peaks. Buckle in and let's go cosplay. This is the dress that I'm gonna wear for Laura Palmer. It's black, just like the one she has on in the Black Lodge. And when she does the meanwhile scene, that's what we're shooting today. I purchased this wig, and this is a Laura Palmer-esque type style. I hope that it looks like hers. I tried my best. This was the best wig that I could find, and hopefully it does her justice. Here are earrings that my mom lent me that are very similar to the ones that she wears in the scene that we are recreating. And here is a brooch, and this goes in the middle of the dress. We have the wig. It's a little crazy, but I think it's gonna work. I had to kind of jerry-rig my ponytail in the back here because if I put it in a bun, then it doesn't really work, but My mom helped me cut the bangs, and I don't think it's too bad. This is the vibe I'm going for. The only difference is really that her hair in this is straight and mine is curly. So I'm excited and I'm ready to go. So I'm really excited for you guys to see.
As we started out doing this stuff, I thought like, well, at some point she's just going to repeat herself. Why not just do Twin Peaks like 5 times, or, you know, the Addams Family, or whatever it was that she thought was good to do, you know. But each shoot has been its own original thing. And then because of the studio and the props that we have and the different things that we have available to us, we could add these wrinkles, which have got nothing to do with the original Laura Palmer or, you know, any of these other characters. And so in a very, very small stage, in a very small setting, in a studio setting, you know, you have to sort of think your way around, like, you know, the colors, the backdrops, the props. There's a lot of little found objects that when she came over here to shoot, she had no idea that she'd be using them, and it's like, oh, well, we can use this, we can do that. And those are sort of happy accidents, you know, those are things that sort of happen where it's like, well, what were the forces that made these people, you know, bother to get this shot with that prop in it? Like, why, you know, was it drawn out? Did somebody say, okay, well, we're going to use, in some cases, the shots are completely premeditated. And so, and they're not always the easiest ones to get because there's a lot of lighting issues and stuff like that. So, especially when you're trying to copy cinema, like we just did Laura Palmer from Twin Peaks, you know, screaming in the dark. And that has a certain sort of look and a certain quality to it that you just, you know, you can take liberties with it, you can change the lighting and everything like that, but you want it to be something that's evocative of the movie, of Twin Peaks and of David Lynch. And so that was sort of an interesting thing to do. We went through that and, you know, made several different examples of it and stuff like that. And I would say that there's sort of an equal value to pictures that are appropriate to the theme, to what you're trying to do. You know, like, okay, you're trying to be Laura Palmer in Twin Peaks, but that sort of runs out after a little while. You're like, okay, well, we did that, and, you know, let's freelance and do something a little bit different. And so you have a different, you know, it's almost like a hybrid character. So there's Stephanie Nasu as Laura Palmer in Twin Peaks, and that is a much more interesting endeavor. And then what Stephanie's doing, which takes it to another level entirely, is that you make a series of these things and then you combine them all together in some sort of a display, and it's like, oh, okay, well, now all of a sudden this makes sense. That it's like, all right, here's a series of characters, and the uniting element to them all is Stephanie. And there are some people that have done this. There's, I think, of Cindy Sherman and other photographers that have sort of, you know, put themselves in this sort of role, and they're playing a character that is not their own invention. But them playing the roles is very much their very own sort of creation.
Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I appreciate it more than you know. I love doing this stuff, as I've said in my other videos. It makes me so happy, and this is one of my favorite cosplays I think I've ever done. So I'm just really happy that I have the opportunities to do the things that I can do, and I'm so thankful that people are enjoying and watching my videos. And if you haven't already subscribed, please subscribe, like, and comment. See you next time.